Welcome back, everyone. Get comfortable and let's take a moment to appreciate purpose in motion. Because while palace drama continues to recycle itself like a worn-out headline machine, the Sussexes are doing what they have consistently done since stepping away from that noise: working, building, and showing up with intention. No distractions, no rebuttal tours, no tantrums dressed up as tradition, just meaningful engagement and forward movement. Tonight in Los Angeles, the Duchess of Sussex stepped out alongside entrepreneur and changemaker Emma Grede for the annual 15% Pledge Fundraising Gala, an event rooted not in symbolism but in measurable action. Founded by Aurora James, the 15% Pledge challenges major retailers to dedicate at least 15% of their shelf space to Black-owned businesses. A simple idea with radical implications, because access is power and visibility creates opportunity. Meghan's presence at this gala was not ornamental. It was aligned, and everything about how she showed up reflected that clarity of purpose. She wore a refined, strapless evening gown in a soft champagne ivory tone, a color choice that immediately conveyed warmth, openness, and understated confidence. The gown's silhouette was clean and sculpted, embracing the body without excess or distraction, reminding us, once again, that Meghan understands the strength of restraint. There was no need for theatrical embellishment or trend chasing because the message was already clear. This was about substance, not spectacle. The neckline curved gently across the bodice and was framed with a black velvet trim, a single but powerful contrast that added structure and depth without overpowering the look. Black and ivory are timeless together, but on Meghan they felt modern, intentional, and quietly commanding, evoking classic Hollywood elegance while remaining firmly rooted in the present moment. Draped around her arms was a black velvet wrap, worn loosely rather than formally, a styling choice that spoke volumes. It suggested ease, comfort, and authority without rigidity, reinforcing the sense that she was not there to be displayed, but to participate. The velvet echoed the black detailing of the gown, tying the look together in a way that felt thoughtful rather than forced. Her hair was pulled back into a sleek bun, a signature style that keeps the focus on her face and the work rather than on elaborate styling. This look has become one of Meghan's most powerful visual tools because it communicates clarity and purpose. No fuss, no distraction, just presence. Her jewelry was minimal and refined, delicate drop earrings catching the light, rings that felt personal rather than performative, pieces chosen to complement rather than compete. Everything about the look reflected intentionality, and that intentionality mirrored the ethos of the 15% Pledge itself. This was not a red carpet moment designed to dominate headlines. It was a stand with us moment, a visual alignment with an initiative that is actively reshaping the retail landscape. Standing beside Emma Grede, a woman who embodies modern entrepreneurship and inclusive leadership, Meghan looked entirely at home, not as a celebrity lending borrowed glamour to a cause, but as a woman deeply connected to its mission. This is familiar territory for her, supporting women, amplifying Black-owned businesses, and using her visibility as leverage for change rather than vanity. And let's be honest, this is precisely the kind of engagement critics conveniently ignore when claiming she does nothing because it doesn't fit their narrative. There were no ribbons to cut, no plaques to pose with, just consistent support for initiatives that demand accountability from powerful institutions. Fashion here was not decoration, it was language, and Meghan spoke it fluently, using softness, structure, and restraint to reinforce a message of equity, collaboration, and forward momentum. What makes this appearance especially compelling is its timing, because while royal commentary remains stuck in an endless loop of seating charts, imagined slights, and manufactured outrage, Meghan Sussex was in Los Angeles, supporting a movement that asks corporations to back their statements with real commitments. One world thrives on symbolism and hierarchy. The other demands accountability and action. And the contrast could not be clearer. The Sussexes have remained busy in ways that actually matter, from philanthropy and advocacy to business ventures rooted in impact. And Meghan's presence at the 15% Pledge Gala fits seamlessly into that broader story. She is not attempting to outshine the cause or center herself above it. She is aligning with it, and her fashion choices reinforce that alignment through elegance without excess and confidence without dominance. There was a quiet poetry in the way her look balanced softness and strength, because the ivory tones suggested openness, hope, and possibility, while the black accents grounded the look in seriousness, resolve, and clarity. Together, they told a story of resilience and forward motion, the same story reflected in the mission of the 15% Pledge itself. Meghan carried herself with an ease that cannot be taught or staged, the calm assurance of someone who has endured intense scrutiny and emerged with a sharper sense of self. She smiled easily, stood comfortably, and occupied the space without apology. And that kind of confidence is not loud, it is earned. This is why Meghan Sussex continues to resonate globally, not because she seeks perfection, but because she consistently demonstrates purpose. She understands that visibility is currency, and she spends it wisely, choosing rooms where decisions are made rather than stages built purely for applause. Supporting the 15% Pledge is not about charity. It is about systems, about shifting the framework so Black-owned businesses are not treated as exceptions, but as integral players in the marketplace. Meghan's presence reinforced that shift, from performative allyship to structural change, from slogans to shelf space, from sympathy to strategy. As the evening unfolded, it became increasingly clear that while some remain fixated on controlling narratives rooted in the past, the Sussexes are focused on building a future defined by autonomy, collaboration, and measurable impact. Meghan's style that night was not just beautiful, it was aligned with the cause, the company she kept, and the life she continues to build beyond the confines of royal expectation. Admire the dress. Appreciate the elegance, enjoy the fashion moment, but do not miss the bigger picture, because this appearance was about more than aesthetics. It was about showing up consistently, about lending credibility and visibility to an initiative that is changing how business is done, and about embodying a model of leadership that does not rely on titles to command respect. The Duchess of Sussex demonstrated once again that quiet power is often the most enduring, that purpose outlasts noise, and that meaningful work speaks louder than any palace briefing ever could. In a world obsessed with spectacle, Meghan continues to choose substance, and that choice, repeated again and again, is precisely why her presence remains influential. While critics stay busy revisiting the same tired arguments, she stays busy building, supporting, and moving forward. And that contrast is impossible to ignore. This moment at the 15% Pledge Gala was not an anomaly. It was a continuation, a reflection of a woman who understands the responsibility of visibility and embraces it with grace, intention, and resolve, proving yet again that real impact does not require permission, only purpose.